I have spent years observing why some people seem to move through life with ease around money, while others carry a quiet tension that never seems to leave. It is not about how much they have. It is not about what they know. It is about something deeper, something most of us were never taught to recognize in ourselves. There is a pattern that keeps money at a distance, and it lives not in your bank account, but in your body. Today I want to show you what that pattern looks like and how it can shift. If you appreciate this kind of guidance, consider subscribing to the channel. My name is Jin, and I want to talk with you about something most of us carry but rarely speak about openly. It is the quiet tension we feel around money, the worry that sits in our chest even when everything seems fine on the surface. For years I watched people work hard, plan carefully, do everything right, and still feel like they were one step away from not having enough. I felt it myself. What I came to understand is that money does not flow because of how much we work or how well we plan. It flows when we release the grip we have been holding inside, often without even knowing it. That tightness, that constant fear of loss, that need to control every outcome, it is what keeps abundance at a distance. If you like daily reflections that help you see life more clearly, subscribe to my channel so I can keep sharing these thoughts with you. My name is Jin. For many years now, I have lived simply, quietly, in places where the world moves a little slower. I have spent much of my life observing what happens inside people when they sit still long enough to feel what they carry. I am not here to teach you anything you do not already know. I am here to sit with you for a moment, to reflect together on something that many of us struggle with but rarely speak about openly. You are at a stage in life where you have seen enough to know that some questions do not resolve themselves through effort alone. You have worked, you have tried, you have pushed forward, and still, there are places inside you where peace has not yet arrived. I see that. I have felt that myself. What I want to share with you today is not a solution, not a method, but a way of looking at something we all live with: money, security, the quiet fear that there will never be enough. I am not going to tell you what to do. I am simply going to walk beside you through a reflection I have carried for a long time. If it serves you, I am grateful. If it does not, that is also fine. This is not about me. It is about what is true for you. There is something I have noticed in many people I have spoken with over the years. It is a kind of tightness that lives in the chest, a quiet anxiety that sits just beneath the surface of daily life. It has to do with money? Yes, but it is deeper than that. It is the feeling that no matter how much you have, it might disappear. No matter how hard you work, it might not be enough. No matter how carefully you plan, something could go wrong. You may not speak about this feeling often. You may not even recognize it as fear. But it is there. It affects how you make decisions, how you sleep at night, how you feel when you look at your accounts or think about the future. I want you to know that this is not a failure on your part. This is not a sign that you have done something wrong. This tension, this worry, this feeling of being one step away from instability, it comes from something much older than your current circumstances. It comes from patterns you learned long ago, patterns that were meant to keep you safe, but now keep you closed. What I have come to understand, through my own life and through sitting with many others, is that money does not flow because of what we do. It flows because of what we allow. You are not the only one who feels this way. Across the world, in every culture, in every language, People carry this same quiet burden, the fear of not having enough, the exhaustion of always trying to control what cannot be controlled, the loneliness of never feeling truly secure. I want you to know that you are part of something much larger than yourself. This is a human experience. It is not personal, even though it feels deeply personal. What keeps us separate is the silence. What brings us together is the willingness to acknowledge what we feel. So I want to invite you to do something simple. In the comments below, tell me where you are watching this from. Just your city, your country, wherever you are in this moment. It is a small gesture, but it matters. It reminds us that we are not alone in this, that across distances and differences, we share the same struggles, the same questions, the same hope for something better. When you write your location, you are saying, I am here. I am listening. I am willing to look at this with honesty. That is enough. That is more than enough. What I want to share with you now is something that took me many years to understand. Money flows more easily when we release our grip on it. Not physically, but emotionally. Not by ignoring it, but by letting go of the constant tension we hold around it. Most of us live with a kind of inner resistance when it comes to money. We worry about it. We try to control it. We fear losing it. We compare ourselves to others who seem to have more. This resistance creates a tightness in the body and the mind. It keeps us locked in patterns of fear and scarcity, even when we have enough. The strange truth is that this resistance is not protecting us. It is blocking us. It is like holding your breath because you are afraid the air will run out. The air is there. It has always been there, but you cannot receive it while you are holding your breath. This resistance is usually unconscious. It was learned in childhood, shaped by experiences you may not even remember. It was meant to keep you safe, but now it keeps you small. Now it keeps you from receiving what is already trying to reach you. I'm not saying that money will appear magically if you simply relax. I am saying that your relationship with money changes when you stop fighting it. Let me show you what this resistance looks like in everyday life. It is the way you check your bank account multiple times a day, not to track your spending, but because you need reassurance. It is the tightness in your stomach when an unexpected expense appears. It is the way you plan and replan and calculate and worry, trying to create certainty where none exists. It is the conversations you avoid, the opportunities you hesitate to take, the help you refuse to ask for because asking feels like admitting you are not enough. Your body knows this resistance. Your body feels unsafe around money, even when your mind tells you everything is fine. This is not about logic. This is about what your nervous system learned a long time ago. That money is dangerous, that having it means you might lose it, that not having enough means you are not safe. These feelings live in you, whether you acknowledge them or not, and they shape how money moves in your life. When you are tense, you make decisions from fear. When you are afraid, you close doors before they even open. When you are controlling, you push away the very things you are trying to attract. This is not a moral judgment. This is simply how energy works. So what does it mean to release this resistance? It does not mean pretending everything is fine when it is not. It does not mean ignoring your responsibilities or acting carelessly with your resources. It means noticing when fear is driving you and choosing to pause instead of reacting. It means slowing down enough to feel what is happening in your body when you think about money. It means asking yourself, am I making this decision from trust or from fear? Am I acting from clarity or from panic? This shift begins internally, not externally. It begins with how you hold yourself in moments of uncertainty. When an unexpected bill arrives, can you breathe before you tense? When you receive money, can you feel gratitude before you start worrying about when it will run out? When you make a decision about spending or saving, can you check in with yourself and ask, what does my body need right now? Not what does my fear tell me I should do, but what does my deeper self know is right? This is not about discipline. This is about presence. This is about learning to trust that you can handle what comes, that you are resourceful, that you have survived every difficult moment up until now. Safety does not come from controlling the future. It comes from knowing you can meet the present with calm awareness. I want you to take a moment now, not later, but right now, to reflect honestly on your relationship with control. How much of your energy goes toward trying to manage outcomes you cannot actually manage? How often do you lie awake replaying scenarios, planning for problems that have not happened, trying to create certainty in a world that offers none? This is not an accusation. This is an invitation to see yourself clearly. Because awareness is where change begins. You cannot shift what you do not acknowledge. You cannot release what you pretend is not there. The truth is that you are more capable than your fear tells you. You are more resilient than your worry allows you to believe. You have lived through loss, uncertainty, hardship, and you are still here. That is not luck. That is strength. So I want to invite you to do something. In the comments, write one simple statement that reflects where you are right now. Something like, I am learning to trust, or I am willing to release control, or I am choosing to breathe before I react. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to sound wise. It just has to be honest. This is not for me. This is for you. When you write it, you make it real. You acknowledge it. And that acknowledgement is the first step toward living it. When you begin to release resistance, something shifts inside you. It is not dramatic. It is not sudden. But it is real. You start to notice moments of calm where there used to be tension. You find yourself breathing more deeply, sleeping a little better, feeling less urgency to fix or control or solve. This is not because your circumstances have changed. This is because your internal state has softened. You stop treating every financial decision as a life or death moment. You stop carrying the weight of the future on your shoulders. You begin to trust that you can respond to what comes without collapsing under it. This inner shift changes how you move through the world. You make decisions from a clearer place. You speak more honestly about what you need. You say yes to opportunities that feel aligned and no to things that drain you, without guilt or justification. Money begins to feel less like a threat and more like a natural part of life. It comes, it goes, it flows, and you learn to let it move without gripping it so tightly that it cannot breathe. This does not mean you become careless. It means you become wise. You understand that security is not found in accumulation. It is found in your ability to stay present, to adapt, to trust your own capacity to navigate whatever arises. Over time, as this inner calm becomes more familiar, you will notice that your life unfolds differently. Not because you are forcing it to, but because you are no longer blocking it. Opportunities appear that you would have been too afraid to take before. Conversations happen that you would have avoided. Resources arrive in ways you did not expect, through people you did not plan to meet, in forms you did not anticipate. This is not magic. This is alignment. When you are no longer vibrating with fear and resistance, you become available to what is already trying to reach you. You stop pushing so hard, and you start allowing. You stop demanding certainty, and you start trusting the process. This requires patience. It requires emotional maturity. It requires you to stay grounded even when outcomes are unclear, even when the path forward is not obvious. But this is what it means to live with wisdom. Not to have all the answers, but to trust that you will find your way. Not to control the future, but to meet each moment with presence and clarity. The life you want is not somewhere far away. It is here, waiting for you. To release the grip that keeps it at a distance. It is waiting for you to soften, to open, to trust. We have sat together for a little while now, and I am grateful you have stayed with me through this reflection. What I hope you take from this is not a formula, not a technique, but a shift in how you hold yourself. Let go of the resistance. Trust your capacity to meet life as it comes. Allow money to flow without strangling it with fear. This is the path forward. It is simple, but it is not easy. It requires courage to release what you have held on to for so long. Before you go, I want to invite you to do one more thing. In the comments, share something you are grateful for right now. Not something big or impressive, just something true. Gratitude softens the heart. It reminds us that even in uncertainty, there is abundance already present. And if you feel ready, if something in you knows that this reflection is just the beginning, I have prepared something deeper for those who are truly ready to walk this path further. There is a link below to materials I do not share publicly. They are for people who are serious about this work, who are willing to meet themselves honestly and continue the journey we started here today. Only you know if that is you. Only you know if you are ready. I trust you to decide.